Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're plunging into Sao Paulo, that massive, vibrant, just bustling metropolis in South America.
It really is a true hub of culture and energy.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And, for any of you planning a trip, maybe a quick visit, or even a longer stay, understanding how to navigate this dynamic city safely and efficiently is, well, it's absolutely key.
Definitely. It's a place you want to experience fully but smartly.
Okay, let's unpack this then. Our mission for you, our listener, is really to equip you with crucial insights on staying safe, recognizing common pitfalls, and just getting around Brazil's largest city. We've gathered a pretty fascinating stack of sources, everything from official travel advisories to firsthand traveler accounts, even academic research on crime, local reports, and crowdsourced wisdom on common scams.
Right. It's a real mix.
It is. And it's not just about what to avoid, but how to sort of embrace the city with smart, informed choices so you can feel confident as you explore.
And what's fascinating here is how the official advisories, they provide a kind of broad brushstroke, setting a baseline understanding of the risks.
Yeah.
They emphasize that while violent crime is a general concern, specific areas carry significantly higher risk. And that's a crucial distinction for travelers to internalize.
That is a vital distinction.
Yeah.
When we look at the official stance, like the U.S. government's Brazil Travel Advisory, it currently designates Brazil as Level 2, exercise increased caution.
Okay. Level 2.
Yeah, primarily due to crime and kidnapping.
Uh-huh.
And there are very specific do not travel warnings that are, well, essential for any visitor to know.
Like what specifically?
For instance, they advise against travel anywhere within 160 kilometers, that's about 100 miles, of Brazil's land borders. Though there are exceptions, like the popular Foz do Iguaçu or Pantanal National Parks.
Right, the big natural parts. And it's not just the borders, is it?
No, not at all.
The advisory explicitly warns against informal housing developments, what people commonly call favelas, villas, or communities.
Exactly. These are basically informal urban areas, often lacking official infrastructure, and they can have really fluid, complex security situations. Unpredictable even for locals sometimes.
And the warning is strong there, isn't it? Like, neither tour companies nor police can guarantee your safety.
That's right. Situations can change rapidly. It's a critical point for any visitor.
Definitely.
And beyond those specific geographic warnings, the general nature of violent crime in Brazil is highlighted. We're talking about murder, armed robbery, carjacking.
Serious stuff.
Yeah, which can occur day or night, even in urban areas. And there's specific mention of assaults involving sedatives or drugs put in drinks, particularly targeting foreigners.
Especially through dating apps or at bars, I think.
Yes, exactly. That's highlighted.
So this is where it's crucial to understand the layers of information, right? The official warnings give you that broad framework, the risk assessment.
But then you have the real-world experiences.
Exactly, which really flesh out the picture.
Yeah, and what makes this even more compelling is how these real-world experiences bring it all to life. We heard from a solo female traveler. She spent 3 months in Brazil.
Okay.
Her take is that while Brazil is safe enough to travel to, it absolutely requires practicing caution.
Sure, makes sense.
But she observed something striking. Maybe as high as 25, even 50% of the tourists she met actually experienced some form of crime.
Wow, that's a high percentage.
It really is. And the predominant type wasn't violent crime, but rather pickpocketing. Phone theft was apparently particularly common.
Right, so it shifts the mental map a bit, doesn't it?
How so?
Well, we often brace for the big, scary, violent crimes, but her experience suggests that for many visitors, maybe the main safety challenge is actually that relentless, widespread petty theft, especially phone snatching.
That's a great point. It's about constant sort of low-level vigilance, a different kind of awareness than just avoiding specific bad areas.
Yeah, and her advice is very practical. Brazil might not be ideal for a, let's say, rookie solo traveler, but it's entirely manageable if you exercise extra caution, make smart choices.
It's about being prepared, not paralyzed by fear.
Precisely.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And part of that preparation is understanding the specific types of tricks and traps out there. So let's talk about gulps.
Ah, yes, gulps.
Yeah.
The Portuguese word for scams.
That's the one. And our sources show they are incredibly prevalent and Varied.
It's a pretty comprehensive list they paint, indeed. And these aren't just minor annoyances. Some are quite sophisticated, really targeting visitors specifically.
They really are. One that particularly caught my eye is the WhatsApp profile pic scam.
Oh, yeah, tell me about that one.
Okay, so scammers somehow get your contacts, maybe from permissions you give to free apps, who knows?
Yeah.
Then they steal your WhatsApp profile picture.
Okay.
Then they text your contacts from a new number, pretending to be you, claiming your phone was stolen, and asking for urgent money transfers, often via PIX.
Ah, PIX. Brazil's instant payment system. It's everywhere there.
Exactly. Like a real-time Venmo or Zelle. The urgency tactic is key here. But the counter is simple. Always, always verify with the person's real number or another trusted contact.
And this isn't just theoretical, right? Didn't we see an account of someone almost falling for it?
Yeah, a grandmother who almost got tricked, only saved by pure luck when her real family member called her while she was literally at the ATM trying to send the money.
Wow. It just highlights how effective that urgency plea can be, especially with a digital disguise.
Totally. Then there's another really serious one. The dating app bar drugging scam.
Right, we touched on that. Criminals targeting foreigners, using sedatives and drinks.
Yeah, through dating apps or just meeting in bars before robbing them. The advice here is pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
Don't go to bars or nightclubs alone and never, ever accept drinks from strangers.
This is obvious, but
But in a new, exciting place, it's easy to let your guard down for a second.
true. And building on that, there's even a more aggressive version, the Tinder gang scam.
Oh yeah, that sounds nasty. After interacting on Tinder, you get a call or message.
From someone claiming to be from a criminal gang demanding money because you supposedly hit on their leader.
That's incredibly menacing. Shows the range of psychological tactics they use.
Definitely. And some scams are less about direct threat, more about financial trickery.
Like the card machine manipulation.
Yeah.
Often seen with street vendors or delivery drivers.
Exactly. They manipulate the card machine, maybe add extra zeros, so our $5 suddenly becomes $500.
That's hard to catch in the moment, isn't it? Especially if you're distracted or in a hurry.
Very hard. And you also have things like the airport shoeshine scam. At Guarulhos Airport, shoeshine boys offer a service.
And then demand some outrageous amount, like $180 for a quick shine, after being vague about the price initially.
That's the one. Or similar price gouging, like the beach vendor price hike you might see in Rio. Quote, low, demand high when it's time to pay.
Right. And finally, a particularly insidious one is the Good Samaritan scam.
Ah, the fake helper.
Yeah, someone seems really nice offering help to a lost tourist, maybe someone who doesn't speak Portuguese.
But they're actually part of a scam, setting you up.
Precisely. So what does all this, mean for you as a traveler?
Well, it means being incredibly street savvy. These aren't just petty tricks, some are quite sophisticated.
But knowing about them is half the battle, right?
Absolutely. And the proactive prevention tips are crucial. Stay aware of your surroundings.
Don't physically resist if robbed.
Don't flash signs of expensive watches, jewelry.
Be alert to those date drug scams we mentioned.
Use caution at banks or ATMs. And have a communication plan with people back home.
That makes sense.
But this raises an important question. How can you protect yourself financially against these gulps?
Good question. What's the advice?
Well, the advice from some of these crowdsourced discussions is pretty practical. Before you even travel, consider going into your banking app and setting lower PIX limits, maybe lower credit card transaction limits too.
Okay, like a temporary safety cap.
Exactly. And many credit card apps now let you block and unblock your card instantly, like with a single click.
Oh, that's useful. So you could unblock it right before paying a vendor.
And block it again immediately after.
Yeah.
And for street vendors specifically, using mobile NFC payment is highly recommended over handing over your physical card.
Like Apple Pay or Google Pay.
Precisely. Your actual card data is tokenized, it's never exposed. So even if the machine is compromised, the risk of cloning your physical card is significantly reduced. Your card stays in your wallet.
That's incredibly useful advice. Okay, now, let's talk about actually getting around Sao Paulo.
Yeah.
It's a huge city.
Huge.
And knowing which areas are generally seen as safer and how to use public transport effectively, that can really make a huge difference to your experience.
Definitely.
One source we looked at, an area guide, aimed more at long-term residents but still relevant, highlights 5 neighborhoods as particularly safe.
Right, and these were assessed looking at things like crime rates, police presence, community engagement, and just how safe residents feel living there.
So the list is Pinheiros, known for its sort of artistic flair, low perceived crime.
Heard good things about Pineros.
Jardim Paulista, which is quite upscale, right in the heart of things.
Very central.
Moema, described as family-friendly, peaceful. Villa Mariana, balancing urban energy with good safety. And finally, Sumaré, called a tranquil retreat.
Okay, a nice list. But if we connect this to the bigger picture, while some guides might highlight certain neighborhoods as safest, often based on that general vibe or resident feel, it's really crucial to layer that with more recent dynamic insights.
Because things change.
Exactly. Local reports can give a different, sometimes even counterintuitive perspective for visitors. For example, a recent report looking at violent crime using data from Jan-Feb 2025.
Yeah.
It noted that Pinheiros, despite being on that safest list from the guide, actually recorded the highest number of robbery complaints in the entire city during that period, over 600 reports.
Wow. Okay, that's a significant nuance for any visitor to wrap their head around.
It truly is. It shows that safe can be relative and dynamic. While serious crimes like homicides might be concentrated elsewhere, robbery is the kind of street crime a tourist is most likely to encounter and definitely happen even in supposedly upscale areas like Pinheiros.
So the message is, maintain vigilance everywhere. Don't get complacent just because you're in a good neighborhood.
Precisely. That's the takeaway.
That nuance is so important.
Yeah.
But even with that caution, Sao Paulo's metro system comes highly recommended as a way to get around, especially for tourists.
Yes, very much so.
It's described as safe, fast, easy, and cheap, which is a huge bonus given Sao Paulo's notorious traffic jams.
Oh, the traffic is legendary. The metro is a lifesaver.
Apparently about 4 million people use it daily. And while it has 13 lines total, tourists mostly stick to lines 1, blue, 2, dark green, 4, purple, and 5, yellow to reach the main spots.
Right, those cover most key areas.
It runs pretty much all day, 4:40 a.m. to midnight. And they even guarantee connections if you arrive at a transfer station just before midnight, which is good to know.
That is handy. And the metro also offers convenient connections, doesn't it?
Yeah, you can connect directly to the city's 2 main bus stations, Barafunda and Tite.
Which is great for onward travel.
And apparently you can even access some shopping malls directly from certain stations without ever stepping onto the street.
Another nice safety feature, really. Minimize exposure.
Definitely. And for airport connections, crucial for travelers. Congonhas, the domestic airport, you can reach via bus from the Santos Metro station on the Blue Line.
Okay.
For Guarulhos, the big international airport, you catch a train from Borafunda, or Luz station, also on the Blue Line. Important note, it's a train, not the metro itself, and it leaves every full hour.
Good detail. And it's pretty affordable, right?
Yeah, around $5 per trip.
But this raises an important question again. While the metro sounds like a fantastic option, are all forms of public transport equally safe for visitors?
Ah, good point. What do the sources say?
Well, our sources indicate a clear distinction. The official Brazil Travel Advisory and the Crime Information for Tourists specifically warn against using municipal buses.
Really? Why?
They cite a serious risk of robbery and assault, especially at night.
Okay, so buses are maybe a no-go for tourists, especially after dark. What about taxis?
For yellow taxis, the advice is to only use ones that openly display company information and have the official red license plates.
Got it. So the metro gets a green light, but other public transport options require extreme caution or maybe just avoiding them altogether.
That seems to be the advice, yeah. Stick to the metro or verified ride-sharing app taxes.
That's a key takeaway. Okay, let's zoom out a bit now for the bigger picture on crime dynamics. It's not just about what individual visitors can do, right? There are underlying forces.
Absolutely. And an academic study from the London School of Economics looked into this, focusing on the 2014 FIFA World Cup in Sao Paulo. They treated it as a kind of natural experiment.
How did that work?
Well, they looked at a special police unit created just for the World Cup. And crucially, these were extra officers, not just shifting existing police around. They were deployed specifically to target districts.
Like the stadiums, transport hubs, tourist spots.
Exactly. World Cup venues, FIFA hotels, training centers, the stadium itself. And the findings were quite impactful.
What did they find?
The increased police presence led to significant reductions in crime. They measured an 18% decrease in total crimes per day and, get this, a 34% decrease in robberies per day in those targeted districts.
Wow, 34% fewer robberies. That's substantial.
It really is. And the study concluded this effect was primarily deterrence. Basically, more visible police made criminals think twice.
Makes intuitive sense.
Yeah, and what's also notable is they even calculated something called the elasticity of crime to police.
Yeah.
It came out at -0.37.
Okay, what does that mean in simple terms?
It means for every 1% increase in police presence, violent crime dropped by about 0.37%. And what's remarkable is that this number is surprisingly consistent with studies from other major cities globally: London, D.C., Buenos Aires.
So it suggests a pretty robust, almost universal deterrent effect of visible policing on certain types of crime.
Exactly. However, and this is a key distinction, they found no detectable impact on thefts.
So things like pickpocketing, phone snatching, the stuff that doesn't involve direct confrontation.
Precisely. It implies that while more police might deter violent acts, they're less effective against those opportunistic, less visible crimes, which statistically are the ones travelers are actually more likely to encounter day to day.
That's a really good point.
Yeah.
Because while we've seen the impact of that kind of concentrated policing effort,
Right.
recent data shows that the crime dynamics are still really complex, constantly evolving. That other source, the violent crimes rise in Sao Paulo, one looking at more recent data like April and June 2025.
Yes, that presented a more mixed picture, didn't it?
It did. Sao Paulo actually hit its lowest homicide rate in 24 years back in April 2024, and lethal robberies were down too, which is great news. But homicides in February 2025 were the highest for that specific month since 2020. That's a 16% jump compared to the previous year. Reported rapes also went up, and overall theft incidents rose.
So it's not a simple downward trend across the board.
Not at all.
Yeah.
And the analytical conclusion from that source is crucial, I think. It suggests crime reflects these broader systemic issues, things beyond just law enforcement levels.
Like economic conditions, right? And
Yeah.
the demand for stolen goods, especially electronics.
Yeah, and even urban planning comes into it. The insight there is that lasting security probably needs more than just boots on the ground. It needs economic oversight, social programs, intelligence-driven investigations, tackling those deeper roots.
It really underscores the complexity of urban safety, doesn't it? It's not just one thing.
Absolutely. So our deep dive into Sao Paulo reveals this city of incredible dynamism, where the very act of navigating it becomes, well, an exercise in informed caution.
It's not about promoting fear, though.
No, definitely not. It's about empowerment through knowledge. We've seen how official advisories, firsthand traveler stories, specific scam tactics, the nuanced reality of neighborhood safety, and using public transport effectively.
They all play a role.
They all play a role in shaping your visit, being aware of potential risks, having practical strategies that can truly enhance your ability to enjoy the city's amazing culture and diverse communities with, greater peace of mind.
Ultimately, the knowledge gained from this kind of deep dive isn't just about avoiding trouble, it's about empowering you to really immerse yourself safely.
Exactly. So as you consider your next adventure, maybe to Sao Paulo, maybe to any bustling metropolis, how might this deep dive shift your approach to travel planning? Encouraging you not just to think about what to see, but how to truly see and understand the complex urban landscape you're stepping into to truly immerse yourself with confidence.